Most Americans know little about the origin of the electricity they use in their homes and businesses. For most people, there isn't a compelling need to know very much. Most of the time, electricity is reliably delivered right to their homes when they need it. Working quietly and safely, it heats and cools, illuminates the darkness, entertains, and allows instantaneous communication around the globe. It's tough to think of a process, product, or service that doesn't use electricity. And electricity is a good value. Nationwide, electricity still counts for less than 3% of total annual household expenditures, a percentage that hasn't changed in the last 25 years. Furthermore, Americans don't know much about their electric utility. They purchase the electricity they receive and consume through a process that is almost completely hands-off. They receive a monthly bill and make a payment. Beyond that, the relationship with their electricity provider is probably limited to recognition of a logo and business name and the occasional phone call to obtain information and report problems. For the more than 46 million Americans who receive electricity from a publicly owned utility, the relationship with their electricity provider is special because they are also stakeholders in that utility and have a voice in how their electricity is obtained and delivered. At its heart, public power is an expression of the American ideal of local people working together to meet local needs. Public power was born in the early 1880s, just as the idea of electric lights for public streets, homes, and businesses was born. Community leaders throughout the U.S. recognized the important opportunity and responsibility of electricity production and distribution and formed their own public power systems, rather than rely on privately owned businesses to provide this essential community service. Since then, public power utilities have evolved along with the electric utility industry, growing in scale and complexity, improving availability and quality of services, participating in public policy formation, supporting the communities they serve, and providing an essential benchmark for their privately owned counterparts in the industry. Public power utilities are motivated by the benefits of local ownership and control. Today, there are more than 2,000 public power utilities in the U.S., serving communities as small as Shelley, Minnesota, with fewer than 100 customers, and as large as Los Angeles, California, with more than 1.4 million customers. Most public power utilities are owned by cities and towns, but some are owned by counties, public utility districts, and states. Although different in size and location, they all have a common purpose: providing reliable and safe not-for-profit electricity at a reasonable price while protecting the natural environment. At the heart of public power is democratic governance, the practice of involving community stakeholders in policy decisions so that utility services are in tune with customers' needs and values. In public power communities, decisions on vital services affect every home and business and are made through the local democratic process, which takes place at the ballot box and by participation in city council and utility board meetings, public hearings, citizen advisory committees, task forces, and other public forums. Democratic governance works best when local leaders understand and can explain to others what their public power utility means to its customers and the community it serves. How do citizen customers of public power utilities feel about the benefits of local ownership and control? Their answers are likely to be as varied as the communities they represent.
Because we have our own electric utility, we know the people who work there and how to reach them if we have a question or problem.
Our electric service is very reliable, but if the lights do go out, I know that the crews will respond quickly.
Our public power utility contributes to the economic vitality of this community because of the people it employs and the goods and services it purchases locally.
The people who work at the electric utility are our friends and neighbors. We see them at work and at other places in the community. We know that they care as much about this community as we do.
Our utility doesn't operate to make a profit for distant shareholders. The customers are the shareholders. That allows our utility to make a significant financial contribution to our city government, and we still pay reasonable rates for our electricity.
Our electric utility is a recognized leader when it comes to renewable energy resources and energy conservation, because that's what we want here.
We're in an area where the natural beauty is an integral part of our community and our economic base. Our utility employees have a vested interest in being responsible stewards of the local environment.
Our City Council serves as both the corporate board and the regulatory authority for our electric utility. Because they understand our needs and interests, they are in a much better position than the State Public Utility Commission to provide appropriate oversight.
These statements illustrate what public power can do when citizens work together to meet their needs. In addition, public power utilities throughout the nation work collectively through the American Public Power Association, as well as regional and state associations and organizations to support policies and legislation that put customers first and ensure a stable supply of electricity while protecting the environment. A fundamental philosophy of public power is that the public sector has a special obligation to meet the interests of consumers by promoting innovation and efficiencies to improve service. As a result, public power utilities and their communities throughout the U.S. are leading change in the electric utility industry by increasing use of renewable energy resources, developing innovative approaches to energy conservation and load management, acting voluntarily to protect the environment, and deploying smart meters, electric vehicle charging stations, and other cutting-edge technologies. With more than 130 years of successful operation, Public Power is a durable public institution with an enviable track record of success. More importantly, it is a thriving segment of the electric utility industry. Public Power has demonstrated its ability to lead change in ways that reflect the underlying strength of its core values: community service, customer orientation, and local control.